Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday live coffee talk. And let me just take off my label. I am not Paul Wilson. You will get to meet Paul Wilson. I'm Michelle Quay. I'm a confidence coach. And I love helping people to tell a better stories about themselves so that they can get seen, get heard, and get hired. Today, I am thrilled to bring a good friend of mine. And we met during the pandemic, and his name is Paul Wilson. Paul Wilson, he had spent the last 27 years helping people either as the emergency response manager at the channel tunnel and the mindset master for the business owner. There's extensive length of bio I want you to read and go through inside my episode notes. It is very important, as Paul would put it this way, that I said the last sentence on his bio. Today, I am thrilled to bring a legendary figure to you. Basically, once you start meeting Paul, you're going to look into the mirror and you're going to say to yourself that you are a fucking legend. That's right. That's welcome, Paul Wilson.
Oh, hi, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Paul. You are a fucking legend.
I know. Now, listen, true confession, folks. That is at the bottom of my bio because a lady who's now a good friend of mine was a client a couple of years ago. And she said, can I send you a testimonial? And I said, yeah, please. I love testimonials. And she sent me, he's wonderful. He's sorted this out. He's done this out. And then at the very bottom, she wrote that phrase, which has now it should become my motto because I just love it. I get lots of testimonials, but that is my absolute favorite.
Do you wake up in the morning and look into the mirror and actually say to yourself, Paul, today is going to be fucking awesome?
I do something very, very similar. I've got a friend of mine called Brandon who runs a podcast called Expanding Reality Podcast. He's kind of like one of these conspiracy theory researchers. Okay. And we did this podcast, a few months ago now, and we were chatting about all kinds of things. And we were talking about how we start our day. And Brandon said, you know what I do, Paul? So, well, tell me. He says, right, look, I go in the shower, I have a shower. And we've been talking about kind of parallel universes. If you remember the series Fringe back in the couple of years, well, several years ago now, where there was like, parallel universes, there was a bridge that could go backwards and forwards. Anyway, Brandon goes into the shower, has a shower, and then when he steps out of the shower, he imagines that he's stepping into a parallel universe and he has become the perfect Brandon. Because the theory is there are like an unlimited number of parallel universes and there are unlimited versions of Paul Wilson, each one slightly different to the next one. And so somewhere in the parallel universe, there is Paul Wilson, who is just like perfect, tall, lean, sexy, really wealthy, brilliant, can help people in an instant. And so what I've started doing is have my shower in the morning and stepping out of the shower and going, Paul, you know what? You are just a fucking legend. You're going to have an amazing day. You're going to help people. You're going to have fun and you're going to smile. Now, you might think, oh, this guy's a bit crazy. I promise you I'm not. We are what we think about. We are what goes on in here. So if you kind of go, oh, you know what? I've got the wrong side of bed and it's going to be a terrible day and I feel really lousy and, oh, God, I just can't face life today. Guess what? That's how your day is going to be. You're going to step outside your front door. You're going to step into a pile of dog poo. You're going to get splashed by a car as you walk along the sidewalk. Your boss is going to shout at you. You're going to lose your car keys. You're going to drop money. You're going to spill your coffee. That's the kind of day you're going to have. Whereas if you go, you know what? I feel great. I'm going to have a really, really good day. Yes, bad things can still happen, but you'll be able to surmount them. You'll be able to get over stuff and you won't dwell on them. You go, oh my God, my boss has just shouted at me. He must be having a really bad day. She must be just, not something going right in her life. It's not me. Something's going wrong in her life. And I just was the target. And you can just brush it off and get on with your day. So to answer your question, Michelle, yeah, I do have a thing that gets me up and gets me set for the right day.
So I think just from what you have described in terms of living in this parallel universe, right? There's a perfect version of who Paul is. And there's another self. Here we are, we're looking at this person in the mirror, and we're not that perfect. And the reality is none of us are perfect, but there's that perfect being talking to us right now. How do I know, and how does a conversation go so that I'm not, that my perfect self is not putting off my not so perfect self?
Right, it's a great question. Yeah, I completely agree with it. There's no such thing as perfect. I mean, you could say a sunset's perfect. I'm a photographer. I love photography. You could line up 20 photographers taking a picture of a sunset. 19 of them go, you know what? That's the best sunset I've ever seen. The 20th might go, you know what? That's a crap sunset. The clouds in the wrong place. The light. There's no pink in the sky. Where's my pink? So that there's no such thing as perfect. All we can do is we can aspire to be better, 1% better every single day. That's all we can. That's all we can do. You know, you can't be 100% better. You can do your best to go there. But if you said to yourself, you know what, Paul, I'm going to be 1% better. I'm going to smile 1% more if that's possible. I'm going to work 1% harder. That is achievable. So when I say that I wake up and I want to be this perfect person, what I'm actually saying is I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to have a better day than I had yesterday. Even though yesterday was a good day, I want today to be even better. And when you look in the mirror, it's a choice. You can go, oh God, you know what, Paul, your beard needs trimming. Those lights are outdated. I mean, you need some new glasses. Look at the bags under your eyes. Oh God, woe is me. Or you can go, yeah, look, I would look great for my age. I keep healthy. I'm doing good stuff. I'm doing good stuff. It's a choice that we make. Mm-hmm. Everything we do is a choice. And now a lot of people disagree with me when I say this, but we are where we are today because of every single decision we've made since we were at school up until today. Now, yeah, I know when we're kids, we don't have a lot of choice because we've got parents and we have rules to follow and what have you. But think of it this way. I left school at 15 and a half, 16, and I didn't do well, very well academically. If I'd have figured out that working harder, doing my homework, asking really good questions and focusing in on achieving some great results, my life could have been a lot different. So that's what I mean by when I say about we are where we are today because of the decisions that we've made leading right up until this moment. Even when Michelle decided to contact me to come on my podcast and I decided to come on Michelle's podcast, yeah, what results out of that meeting and that kind of like confluence of the two podcasts is unlimited, but wouldn't have happened if both of us hadn't made that decision at that particular time.
Yeah. So what comes up for me is because a lot of people in my audience right now are entrepreneur and they're business owners. So how does that translate? Because we know how it shows up in our everyday life, right? I'm not perfect, and there's that negative self-talk. There's a lot of negativity going on, drama. But how does that translate into showing up in the business world or the stuff that we do as entrepreneur? In your experience, like, have you seen those showing up?
Right, I just want to do a little experiment. Okay, well, not an experiment, it's a demonstration. This is trauma. This is drama, rather. This is the news. This is the newspapers. What I suggest you do ditch the news. Do not watch the news. Do not read newspapers. Avoid wherever possible drama, because all it does is like have you seen the cartoons where you've got like a devil on this side and an angel on this side, and the devil's going, go on, do it. And then, oh, don't do it. That's really naughty. Yeah. The devil wins out more times than not when we're talking about negativity, when we're talking about the stuff that we hear on the news. We all know bad stuff happens every single day. In fact, most of us watching this could actually sit down and write the news for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. This politician's done this thing. This thing's happened. There's a war somewhere, and so on and so on and so on. You don't need that crap in your life. Life is challenging enough without absorbing all this negativity. Yeah. So I strongly suggest, and I'd say this to my clients as well, stay away from the news. If you have to watch the news, go online, get one of these news aggregators and just flick through the headlines and then ditch it.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead. No, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, because what I was to say was, if you get up in the morning, you turn the radio on, you listen to the news. Okay, well, the traffic here is crap and there's lots of queues and you're going to be really, really late for work. Oh, my God. And this politician and taxes going up, blah, blah, blah. You watch the news at lunchtime. Guess what? That news the traffic got really, really bad. The drive home is going to be awful. That politician's done 5 things really bad and taxes are going up. And you get the same thing repeated 5 or 6 or 20 times a day. And it just sinks in here. And you go, oh, God, why do I bother? Why do I try and be an entrepreneur? Why should I just get like a 9-to-5 job and I can just no, you want to fill yourself with the good stuff. Now, I'm not talking about being a pixie fairy dust woo kind of person. I'm talking about being realist in the sense that yes, I know stuff happens, but my focus is on what I can do to help people with whatever business that I'm in. Yeah. What good stuff can I bring into my life? What good stuff can I help people with? And the more you focus on that, the more you'll find that arriving in your life. It is so important because this is a bit difficult to get your head around. What is reality? Ask yourself this question. What is reality? Because you can get, using my favorite group of 10 photographers, you can get 10 photographers lined up on a street corner. Mm-hmm. And you can have 2 cars collide into each other. You will get 20 different versions of what just happened. Because yes, 2 cars collided, but you'll get 20. Well, it was the red car first, and the red car hit the lights. No, it was this car, and that person crossed the road, and so the driver in that, and you get 20 different versions. So you get 20 different views of reality. And if you interviewed each of those 20 people away from it, they would swear that what they saw was the truth, was the thing that actually happened, was the facts. And they're right, because in their view of what happened, they are right. That's what they saw, or that's what they think they saw. And so are the other 19 people. What I'm saying here is that we make our own reality. We choose how we want to live our lives. We can live our lives being miserable. We can live our lives being happy most of the time. Yeah. Or we can kind of just be neutral, which is kind of like, meh, lack of energy, lack of everything. And I know this from personal experience. I've suffered with depression for a long time. In fact, I tried to kill myself 3 times. Last time was back in 93, and I actually died pretty much. Yeah, rushed to hospital, pumped full of drugs. And this just makes me laugh now because they pumped me full of drugs. They stuck me on a gurney in a corridor, and I was howling like a wolf. The pain was agonizing. So it's like I'd be lying there, and and then I'd go silent, and then there'd be another wave, and I'd howl again. And this went on all night long. Mm-hmm. And the next morning I realized that I couldn't do it. Something had stopped me from completing the act or doing taking an extra couple of drugs or whatever it was I was doing at the time. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
I just realized that there's more to life, but only if I decide there's more to life. And it's the same with showing up. If you pretend to be somebody else, you're not showing up. The one word that I absolutely hate, and me and Michelle were laughing about this before we came on air, is the word authentic. So many people use this bloody word and have no idea what it actually means. People should actually get out sometimes and buy themselves one of these, a dictionary,
Is that Oxford Dictionary?
Yeah, the Oxford, it's concise. I mean, look at the thing. It's bigger than my wrist. It's massive. But, the word authentic, you don't need that word. Just be you. I mean, look at me. This is me. If you met me in a coffee shop, this is how I would dress. This is how my hair is, and all the rest of it. I got another story about that in a second, But this is how I would talk. I'd be my hands move around.
You don't put on the makeup? Did you put on makeup today?
5 hours it took me every morning. Once I got out of the shower and got into my new universe, I spend 5 hours in front of a mirror. It just ruins the day. And I look, I have to put these lines in. These lines aren't there. These bags under my eyes. So I'm 60, but I look 25. But to stop people feeling jealous and upset and sad, I paint on the bags. I put this is fake. This gray. I'm actually jet black.
It suits you really well.
I know it does, really but I'm an expert. I went on a 15-year makeup artist course, 27 hours a day, 9 days a week for 25 years, to learn how to do this mastery. This is
They
me.
have filters now, Paul. You should know that all these social media, they have filter. A lot of people are using filter.
Michelle, do you think this body needs filters?
Maybe not so much.
No, but that again, you see, this is about why are you using filters? Why are you pretending to be younger than you actually are? Celebrate you have knowledge, experience, expertise, skills that you have fought and worked hard for to gain over your life, no matter what age you are. Why negate that by trying to pretend you're 10, 15, 20, 30 years younger? It's silly. You can't use the word authentic and then have your photographs taken through filters or have your videos taken through filters, because that's not authenticity. Authenticity is being the real you, warts and all. And this is what people want. People are sick and tired of fake. People want you. There's three words, and they're quite common words in the marketing and entrepreneurship: know, like, and trust. Before anybody will come near you and say, Paul, can I work with you? They need to get to know you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They need to decide whether they like you or not. There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. That's just a huge, incomprehensible number. Now, if 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of that 7.5 billion, are in your world, that's still a huge number. And if 1% of 1% of 1% of that percentage actually like you, that's still a big number. You don't have to try and please everyone. It's impossible. There's just a tiny number of people that are going to go, you know what? I like this guy. I like what he stands for. Now, there are loads of people that go, you know what, this guy's an idiot. He's an absolute fucking moron. He talks about his backside, parallel universes, getting up in the morning. What is reality? What's he talking about? He doesn't know his arse from his elbow. But that's fine. I cannot please all the people all the time. Neither can you. And you need to stop trying this. You've got to stop pretending that you can help everyone, everybody loves you. It's a fallacy. Just be who you are.
How does someone overcome the fact that, I'm going to turn on the camera or I'm going to speak to people and I don't want them to judge me, because that judgment piece is so strong and so heavy for a lot of people. It weighed them down. Maybe it's from some experience in the past where they're being laughed at or pointing at, but how do you help someone overcome that?
Okay. I'm going to use a very technical term here, so you may want to write this down. Yeah. People that judge you. Okay. You got this technical term. You ready for it?
Yeah, I got my pen and pad ready.
Okay. Fuck them.
How do you spell that?
FUKEM. Seriously, I'm being serious. If somebody wants to judge you, that's their problem. If somebody wants to write a horrible comment on your post, that's their problem. In fact, it's actually really good if they write a horrible comment on your post, because guess what? All the people that like you are going to rally round and they're going to decimate this person that's written the horrible thing. It happened to me a couple of years ago. No, a bit more than that, about 4 or 5 years ago. I had this photography group, and I went from about 2 to 45,000 members in Canada, no time at all. And I was doing this live about something to do with photography. And this one person who'd been kicked out of the group for misbehaving came on and go, this guy's a perfect. He tried to sexually abuse me, even though we lived in different continents and I've actually been to this person's continent. And she was writing some really, really horrible things while I was doing my live. And I kind of noticed it and said, you know what? I haven't got time to respond. Everybody else, all these people came out of the woodwork and started hammering this person. And that video went like bang, he went ballistic. Yeah. So usually Facebook doesn't show your stuff to a lot of people, but because people jumped on that really, really quickly, out of the 45,000 members, I think about 5 or 6 or 10,000 people actually saw that video because of that. So don't be frightened. If somebody doesn't like you, that's their problem. Yeah. You can't please all the people all the time. This is such an important thing to think about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your parents, your other half, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your cat, your dog, your budgerigar, and the other 7.5 billion people. You can't please all of them all the time. How many times you had an argument with your significant other, a really strong argument, and they're supposed to love you? You've had an argument with them. Yeah. So if you can't have that person happy with you all the time, how on earth can you expect the 5 billion people or 3 billion people on Facebook to be happy with you all the time? Ain't going to happen. So Yes, I've got some tactics and stuff you can use. And in fact,
Mhm.
here's another one for you. Again, this is a really, really big technical term. You need to be ready for this one. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I
Ready?
got
Ready?
it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The list.
The
I'll say that
list.
again. The list. Now, what you do is, if you feel like you don't deserve to be talking about the thing you're an expert at, if you feel you shouldn't be going live, if you feel that you've got a bit of imposter syndrome, what I want you to do is to buy yourself a notebook or grab one you've got already, and this is a lifelong project. Okay, every single day, I want you to sit down for 15 minutes and write down every single thing you have achieved in your lifetime. And I mean, go way back to as far back as you can remember. Get your parents to help you. Were you in the Boy Scouts or the Girls Guide or the Royal Air Force Cadets or whatever it was, the Sea Cadets, and you got badges, school merits, school reports where you go, oh, Paul worked really hard today. Rip that out, write it out in your book. When you passed your driving test, when you got your first boyfriend, your first girlfriend, when you got your first job. Now you might be thinking, Paul, why is getting a job an achievement? Because it was a competition. There may have been 10, 50 or 5,000 people going for that job and they chose you.
Mhm.
That is an achievement. Write it down.
Yeah.
The first time you kissed a boy, the first time you kissed a girl, the first time you made love, these are achievements. Because look, you're in a nightclub and there's loads and loads of guys, there's loads and loads of girls. You see a girl, okay, you go up to her and you get talking and she likes you, she takes you home. There were hundreds of other guys in that room or hundreds of other girls in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that person chose you. That is an achievement. Now, a lot of people don't see that. If you're a lady and you've had kids, that is a bloody achievement. If you're a single mom or a single dad with kids and you're doing it, you're working 3 jobs or whatever it is you're doing, yeah, that is an achievement. Every single thing. If you've been to university, if you've been to college and you graduated and you got A's or whatever, get that stuff down. Write it down in your book. And from this day forward, everything you do, everything you achieve, write it down in the book. Now, here's the reason you need to do this, because on the day you think, you know what? I don't deserve to be going live. That person criticized me and you know what, they're right. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know nothing about it. You open your book. Paul spent 25 years at the Channel Tunnel helping people as the emergency preparedness manager. Paul passed his driving test. Paul has had, 3 kids and so on. And you remind yourself, and that what happens then is your subconscious mind goes, bloody hell, he's right, we did that.
Yeah.
And we can do this.
Yeah.
And all it needs is just a little kick, a little anchor to remind yourself of how good you really are, the stuff that you've actually achieved. And it's in black and white. You've written it down. Okay, you have achieved this. This is your thing. This is your expertise. This is all the experience, all the knowledge, all the skills, all the training, all the courses you've given, all the presentations you've done, all the emails where somebody's gone, Paul, thank you for that. It was really great. All the testimonials, all that stuff goes in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you need it, it's close by. You can just flip it open and go, oh, wow, yeah, I've helped 150 people. Look, all these testimonials I've got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul is a fucking legend. Paul is this, Paul is that. That means I've actually helped people, because people don't write them for no reason. I don't pay people to write testimonials. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wherever you are in business, wherever you are, do not be afraid to be yourself. Be who you are.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be so proud of me right now, because I don't have a list. I actually have a roadmap. So I have a roadmap where I write down every month. I write down all my achievements. So every once in a while, I would tell people, "Hey, let's do a humble brag." And I open up my sheet for that month, and here I am. It's my humble brag. I just spoke at a summit. I wrote that down. Or I created my own website. I wrote that down. So I have a roadmap of that success.
This is going on my list. I've been on Michelle Quay's podcast as a guest.
Yes. And I always have a lot of good conversation with you. You are very joyful. And this is I can only imagine the clients that you're attracting because you're just very relaxed and you're full of wisdom. Every time I talk to you, it's just something that's very enjoyable. And it almost felt like you don't have any agenda that's inside of you saying, well, okay, so we are at, 4 minutes left. We need to wrap this up. And you don't have any of that. You feel very relaxed and very calm. And it's really enjoyable to have a conversation with you.
That's a really good point, actually, Michelle. Thank you. Because when I come onto a podcast or when I go into a group, I want to do my best for the host. Yeah, I don't care whether we talk about what I do, what I don't do, where to promote me or anything. That's not the point. I'm here because you invited me and you want to have a conversation. So I will do. My focus is on you. My phone's turned off. All the distractions are turned off. So my 100% is my focus is on this conversation. Yeah, and that's why, because I love having these conversations. I really love talking to great people like yourself, Michelle, and other people that I've met. I just love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what's on your list right now? Like, what is your next step? Who are some of your clients that you're working with?
Okay, my next step, this is going to make you laugh. I've got to take my headphones off, first of all.
We talked about that. It's a bird's nest. You're talking about the bird's nest. Yeah.
Now, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a very, very nice haircut. The last time I had my haircut was in, I think it was October last year. Okay, and that was because of lockdown. But also my hairdresser, she's a lovely, lovely lady, but she works part-time and she's got a few health issues. And now she's decided kind of a couple of months ago that she's going to work part-time. And I got a message this morning to say that she is... got me an appointment for the 20th of May. I think it's 11 o'clock. And I'm over the moon because while I love the kind of length and stuff and what have you, it's just uncontrolled. It's like a bush. I mean, I put some, a little bit of coconut, a little tiny thimble, not even a thimbleful, that much about coconut oil to keep it manageable. Otherwise, it kind of goes like this. And I could be mistaken for a bush. In fact, if I stand still too long in the street, the gardeners come along with the shears and you want to sort of chop me down. So,
I was going to say the birds will come and land on it.
They do. I had to kick them out. Yeah. I had to keep my window closed.
You need a scarecrow.
No, I was going to buy an eagle. I was going to get an eagle and stick it on my head. Yeah. So the eagle would scare all the other birds away. But then, eagles make a big mess and that would make me smelly. So I thought, no, I won't bother with an eagle. So I'm just so looking forward to getting my hair cut. What am I doing right now? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, this is one big fallacy that you spend all of your time with your clients. This is not true. I spend probably about 80% of my time marketing because the world is, it makes me smile. Oh, go online. There's 7 billion people online and you can make $1 billion in 10 minutes and you're going to be famous, this and that. Well, yeah, maybe 1,000 years ago. But today, the online space is very, very, very crowded, very, very, very noisy. And like we said earlier on, know, like, and trust. For people to get to know me, they've got to bloody find me first of all, yeah? So that means that I have to be marketing and writing posts and doing lives, all that kind of stuff. The one thing I want to say is don't be discouraged if you are marketing and you're not getting a lot of likes and shares and comments and stuff like that. I would probably say that of all the clients that have come to me through Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, not one single one of them has actually interacted on my posts at all. There's a lady I talked to back in March, and she said, I want to work with you, Paul, blah, blah, blah. And I asked my clients all of this, okay, where did you find me? How did you find me? I said, last May, you did a live in somebody's group and you resonated with me. And so I've been following you. Yeah. There's a guy in Tennessee that I was chatting to a couple of weeks back, and we're not going to work together, but he's a lovely, lovely guy. And the same thing, he says, you know what, Paul, I've been stalking you for months in a nice way. So yeah, all of my clients that come to me from social media, they're just there. They're watching, they're following. This is why it's so important, coming back to Michelle's original point about being yourself. Because if people are watching you, That's it.
I know
I've
you're
got. We're
tripping
no
right
longer
now.
friends now. We're no longer friends. I'm sorry. It's not on. Uh, but this is why. If somebody's following you for 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 months or more, they're going to know that you're fake. They're going to know that you're using filters. They're going to know that you don't actually mean what you say, because over that length of time, little things will slip out. Little things will, your facade will kind of get cracks and will break, and they'll see through and go, "Ugh, is that really you? Is that what you really stand for? No, thanks. I'll go somewhere else." So
Yeah.
this is why it's critical to get rid of the filters, to not spend 5 hours having your makeup done. Just be who you are. If you get out of bed and you look like this, then okay, maybe you wash your hair and tidy up a little bit. That's fine. That's what everybody does, yeah? But don't hire a makeup artist every time you're going to go live to make yourself perfect, because over time, people will realize that's not you.
Yeah.
People want the real you, because that's who can help them, not the pretend you, not the person who's pretending to be Paul Wilson. Who would want to pretend to be me? Anyway, they want to know who you are. They want to know who you stand for. And the reason is, it's very simple. Can you help them?
Mhm.
Can Paul Wilson help this person that's struggling with, is lost at sea? You're in the middle of the Atlantic, you're on a luxury cruise liner, and the rudder's broken. So you're now at the mercy of the tide, you're now at the mercy of the waves, you're now at the mercy of everything. You go round and round and round in circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, Paul, yeah, I'm that ship. I don't know where I'm going. I'm making really good money, but so what? My life is comfortable, but I don't have a destination. I don't know whether it's New York, whether it's Johannesburg, whether it's Southampton, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing in life globally. And this is what I've started to help people with. It's legacy is a big word. But what I mean is that if you don't know the purpose what are you doing? What do you want to leave behind for your family? Are you building a business? Are you building a property empire? Are you building a big reserve of cash so that your kids can go to college because you didn't go to college, yeah? Because you couldn't go. Do you have a thing? Why are you making 150,000, 200,000, 500,000 a year just to squirrel it away in the bank? Because that doesn't give you any joy. Unless you're an accountant and you're into numbers. Oh, look, I've gone up by 25%. Fabulous, yeah. But for most of us, it just becomes money in the bank. It doesn't have a purpose anymore. It's just sitting there. And so that's what I'm kind of doing. I still help people with imposter syndrome, fear of failure, and all that kind of good stuff. But again, people that don't have a destination, that aren't enjoying the journey, a lot of the time, it's about the fact that they still feel like they've been judged. They still feel like they can't put the head above the parapet. They still have this feeling, and you know what? Somebody's going to find out soon that I'm a fake, that I don't really know what I'm talking about. Even though they're an expert in what they do, people still have this feeling that I'm going to get found out. That person who's been following me, that's criticizing me all the time, they're gonna say something, and they're gonna tell the world that my PhD, it's just a piece of paper. It's garbage. Yeah. But we tell ourselves this, going right the way back to the beginning of this conversation, Michelle. We go where our mind goes, where we send it. So if we're saying to ourselves, I can't go live because all these people are going to criticize me, all my colleagues from the business that I spent 25 years in, what's she doing being an entrepreneur? She knows nothing about entrepreneurship. Yeah, she's a great graphic designer. She spent all that time in a big corporation, but going to business, she knows nothing about it. Garbage. The skills that you've collected, the hard-fought knowledge, experience, expertise that you've fought for over all this time is just as valid in the world of entrepreneurship as it was in the corporate world. A lot of people leave corporate because of the toxic environments, toxic bossing, toxic colleagues to work for themselves, but they kind of like try to cut the cord from all the knowledge and experience and expertise and skills, those 4 words again. Nah, they come with you. They never get old. Yeah. That's what you've got to remember. This, if you want to use that word authentic, that's when you use it. That's what you did. Yeah. Again, this is the real you. This is the authentic you. Yeah. Everything that's in here, all that stuff you've done, not what you've pretended, not the bullshit you say to people sometimes, but this is it. And this again, this can become your podcasts, this can become your blog posts, this can become your everything, your lives. You could go out, oh, you know what? I remember I had a really, really tough time. I did this PhD, about X, Y, or Z, and I was going to quit. I was halfway through and I was going to quit. But I had a conversation with this girl called Michelle, and she said, you know what, Paul, you can do this. Yeah, you got to work a bit harder and maybe get a bit of focus, and you got to sacrifice some stuff, but you can do it. And you know what? She was right. That then becomes a blog, that becomes a post, that becomes a live, that becomes people getting to know about you, people getting to know about your struggles, the stuff that you've had to push through. Yeah.
I think people really get caught up when they think about marketing is that, well, I don't have a lot of content to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. When I go on live, I don't have any topic. And so what you have in your hand, the list of accomplishment, the list of what I have done well in my life, really become a solid content. And that's something that you can draw from. It's all about you, who you are, how you present yourself, and what you're all about, your beliefs and your struggles, everything, every piece of important stuff that had happened in your life, it becomes your content, it becomes your talking topic, it becomes your marketing material. And people are struggling with marketing.
Yeah, and look, I'll tell you what, folks, look behind Michelle. What are all those things? Look behind her. Books and boxes and every one of those books. I've got a book handy, but okay, there we go. You do a live today. I want to talk about dictionaries. What? Why the hell does Paul talk about dictionaries? Because there's a word that I absolutely hate, and it's authenticity. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the dictionary definition, and it means blah 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 and blah blah blah. Most people don't know what bloody authenticity means. To be authentic means just be your bloody self. Don't try and be. And there you are. See, there's a live just from one book. And look how many books that Michelle's got behind her. And then if you do this diligently, every line that you write becomes a blog post, becomes a live, becomes a LinkedIn post, becomes wherever you are on social media, becomes one of those things, become an Instagram photograph. Your testimonials, you can tell a story. Paul sent this beautiful testimonial about X, Y, or Z, and it was a real challenge. At first, I thought I wasn't going to take Paul as a client because he was a bit belligerent, he was a bit this, he was a bit that, and you know what? But we got talking, and I warmed to him, and in the end, I thought, you know what? I'm prepared to take a risk. I'm going to take him on as a client, and at the end of the day, he got brilliant results. Look at these testimonials. Again, that's another one testimony becomes a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute live or podcast or whatever. You have the content. It's all around you. You just got to kind of like open your eyes to the fact that all the stuff around you is a blog post. I've got a friend of mine called Mark Whitehand, and he's got this brilliant example of content. He picks up this pen, and it's a pen that somebody gave him, and he tells a story, and then he puts that down, and he picks up a watch, and he tells the story of the watch, because people say quite a lot often, I haven't got your contact, I don't know what to write about. This, you've probably all seen these little waiter pads that you see waiters write down your order. There's a guy called James Altucher. He's an investment guy in New York, and he's been bankrupt loads of times, made loads of money, lost it again. And he writes about people say they don't have ideas. So he says, buy yourself a load of these things, and every single day, write down 10 ideas, and for a month or a year, they may all be crap ideas, may all be just, you just bin it. But once you do it every single day, write down 10 ideas, better still, write down 20 ideas every day. Eventually, 1, 2, or 3 will be ideas that you can take action on. They'll become ideas. And again, so that's a blog post, or that's a live. And that's just 3 things that I've picked up that are instantly around me. You've got all of those books. We've all got books, CDs, experiences. There's no reason for you to sit there and say, I don't know what to talk about. It's all around you.
Yeah. I recently, I've been talking about my new friend.
Oh, I saw something with the ears creeping in the corner there. I wonder what it was.
Right there.
Hello, cat. Meow.
His name is Toby.
Ah, Toby, great name for a cat.
Yeah, so lately I've been talking a lot about Toby, and just by watching Toby, I learned so much about the mindfulness, about curiosity. It's about a lot about how to get attention, get people's attention. You just keep meowing at them. You just keep howling at them.
Listen, if you've got children that
Yeah.
are under the age of about 6 or 7, Mom, can I have one of these, please? No. Mom, can I have one of these, please? No. Mom, can I please have one of these, please? You said I could have one yesterday. Please, Mom, can I have one? No. Mom, you did say. And they will keep doing this until you either run away, beat them to death with a big stick, or go, okay, here you are. Then go on, take it. Yeah.
Sounds like marketing.
That is marketing. Marketing is about being relentless in a nice way. Be relentless. Tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and share bits of your life. You don't have to share everything, of course you don't, but people want to know who you are.
And this is where you can find Paul, right there.
This is a meditation exercise, by the way. This Michelle taught me this. Yeah, if you do this, you put yourself into a state of Zen.
Yeah. Just make sure you use the right finger, though.
Well, you can't use that one.
No, don't do that.
Well, that one then.
Not in America. You don't want to offend
one.
people like that. Although that's the finger I'm most good at. Well, Paul, I wanted to. I can talk to you for days and hours, but I do want to wrap this show up. Tell us where we can find you.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
No.
No, I'm not going to tell you because it's written. Look, see, I'm going to do it again. Paul Wilson Coaching's on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you can't find me, well, it wasn't meant to be. You weren't meant to come in my world. If you can't find me, I'm sorry. Okay, just the karma's not with us. The force is not with you. You're on the dark side. I am the light side. Okay, so if you can't find me.
Well, the lightsaber, right?
Lightsaber, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. There we go.
Use the force, Luke. Luke, use the force. Use the force to find Paul. He's there. Just use the force.
Well, I'm having so much time, good time, great time with you, but I do appreciate you coming on to the show. You are a man of wisdom, and your sense of humor is, I don't know, sky roof, off the top. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming to the show. I'm going to put you to the backstage so I can close up.
Thank you, Michelle. It's great. Bye, folks. Been a pleasure.
Bye, Paul. All right, folks. So what you've been watching is my live Wednesday coffee talk show. This is a show about love, courage, and connection. Hopefully you enjoy watching the show, and you will tell more people about this show and invite them to my group, the Confidence Lounge by Michelle Quay. And you can do that via Facebook. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Elevate Life Coach. Love to connect with you. And that's Get Real. All right. I will see everyone next week. Bye.